Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Pridelines is awarded $50,000 from LGBTQ Plus Equity Fund Grant Award a day after HHS Secretary visits. Recently, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS Secretary Xavier Becerra visited Miami to underscore the Biden-Harris administration's efforts to support the LGBTQ plus community and reduce prescription drug costs for the Latino communities. Secretary Becerra's first stop was at Pridelines, Miami's only LGBTQ plus community center. Here he engaged with the center staff and discussed the healthcare needs and services for the LGBTQ plus community. During the event, he outlined the administration's historic actions to ensure the LGBTQ plus youth, adults, families, caretakers, and providers have the resources needed and support they need, accessing necessary health services free from discrimination. His visit was historic for Pridelines and drew attention to the growing need of a nonprofit organization for LGBTQ plus youth. The HHS Secretary's visit drew great attention to Pridelines' mission. The next day, a public announcement was made by the Miami Foundation and the Our Fund Foundation to provide an equity fund grant to Pridelines for $50,000. The grant will support their work in helping assist housing insecure LGBTQ plus individuals and to explore sustainable solutions to the challenge. Well, congratulations.
Woohoo!
That is fantastic news. It just gives us such a good hope for the youth in this, in this area. It's been so needed. I feel like in the last few years, it's just been kind of like a taboo subject for some of us to talk about. And so it's good to know that there's a charge coming to help the LGBTQ plus youth, and, it's starting with you. So
no, this is great. We're very excited. This story has two parts to it, right? So the Secretary's visit, and what was really important about that visit was a greater attention to healthcare access and access for things like PrEP and PEP and antiviral HIV medications. And that was really, really critical. What the story, what we should have said about in this story was that the fact that the Secretary met with a group of individuals who are long-term survivors of HIV and who have been living with and who have been major clients and supporters of Pridelines. He had a very intimate conversation with them. It was great. It was lively. Our long-term survivors, they're very boisterous and they'll tell it just like it is.
Wow.
And so I wasn't even in the room. Literally, it was their support group and the Secretary. And the Secretary came out saying, you got a great grouping. Like they had no problem.
They had no qualms.
They have no
how it is.
No. And it was great because I didn't realize that, but we've been in the spotlight with the Biden administration because of a friend of ours, so it's been great to hear that they've been talking about Pridelines in the Biden administration. So not just him, but even the VP. So
wow.
So it's
Kamala Harris is thinking about you, Edward. Kamala Harris
so it's
thinking.
Great, but more importantly, I'm glad that the group of long-term survivors got the opportunity to express their opinions and perspectives about the healthcare system and the role that Pridelines has played in supporting them through their journey. Pridelines has been with these individuals for 10 plus years, supporting them and just providing wraparound services to them and providing, more importantly, a space for them to connect with each other. And so that was huge for the Secretary. He was blown away, really loved it. And another part of that visit is that Pridelines just launched April 1st, our PrEP initiative, where we're giving out PrEP and PEP. And one of the things that we're focused on doing is making sure that places like Liberty City have access to important medications because Liberty City is ground zero to new infection rates.
Well, can I ask you that? So I have a couple of questions on this story. First of all, what is an equity fund grant?
So equity fund. So this is a grant so the task force actually, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago, the task force, when they took over the winter party, they decided that in taking over the winter party, that they had to keep money here in Miami. And so the way in which they were keeping money in Miami, they were going to give it to the Miami Foundation and now the Our Fund to manage.
Okay.
And so basically that's a way, because in the past, the winter party was done by, I believe, Care Resources. So all the money was staying here locally. So when folks negotiated with the National LGBTQ Task Force, they negotiated that all the money, like the majority of the money still has to
stay
stay here in the community. So the Miami Foundation has a bulk of money that's focused on helping LGBTQ organizations here with various initiatives. And so this particular equity fund is because of our work that we've been doing in housing and security, helping people, particularly not just young people, but all individuals in our spectrum, LGBTQ spectrum, with housing. And so, but this allows us to explore further partnerships and potentially leverage this for other opportunities and
hire some more people.
So,
did you know when Xavier Becerra was there Tuesday that he was that money was gonna be sent to you Wednesday?
No. So my birthday was Monday, and so my birthday was last Monday, and literally last week was like I had a lot of gifts last week. So Becerra come in, which we didn't know was, with these major cabinet visits, you never know if it's actually going to happen until the day of, and so it actually happened. And then I had a conversation with Becerra too about some grant funding as well, and he's so supportive of Pridelines. But then the next day, this $50,000 came, which was like I didn't even expect it. Honestly, it was not.
I was nominated.
No, we didn't. No, honestly, we didn't.
They love me. They really love me.
We didn't. And I believe our role is just to sit back and do our work, right, and do it quietly and work with others. And so we just did not expect this, and to wake up like at 8 o'clock in the morning to this was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah.
How does this make you feel, Jay? Just
because
my God. I mean, you're part of Viv and everything that they do, and like,
Pridelines has been is a visceral part of my
of your upbringing.
Of my upbringing. Like I am Miami. Like Pridelines is something that has been attached to me for years. And this warms my heart, especially when you said housing insecurity, because that's what everybody knows me knows. I talk about this all the time. Like, if we had adequate housing, then a lot of things would be taken care of, especially amongst Black and marginalized LGBTQ folks. So I'm just so happy.
So Jay, quite frankly, and I don't want to make this a sour moment, but I always have to talk about this because me and a lot of my colleagues were impacted by this. But about 2 months ago, we lost a trans individual on Miami Beach, and she was someone who trusted Pridelines, and she didn't want to work with any other organization but Pridelines, and she would be at our Miami Beach location all the time, and she was tragically killed because she was sleeping outside of the Miami Ballet, and. Again, I don't want to play God. I don't want to predict, but
no.
Had we had adequate housing, any organization, not just Pridelines, any adequate housing for LGBTQ individuals, any housing, any housing, not even adequate, any housing for LGBTQ individuals,
this could have been,
and so, it's my mission. It is really my mission to try to prevent that, and I'm going to do everything I can. Maybe starting with youth, maybe announcement soon, who knows, and then going on to elder. Who are not you. But this is my mission at Pridelines to do something about this. I don't want this to happen again.
I got to tell you that everybody here at Queer News Tonight and the Happening Out Television Network can't be prouder of you for everything that you've done in less than a year. We're all blown away. When you set your minds to something, Edward, you get it effing done. All right? And you put your blood, sweat, and tears, everything. You didn't even mention your freaking birthday, okay? That is how overwhelmed he was the last couple of weeks getting things done, and that is who he is. I always tell the story about Edward being super happy about a shower being put in his facility. This fool, you would have thought he was going to Disney, right? He was like, oh my God, Faye, I am so happy. It finally happened today. I'm like, what? Did you finally get a boyfriend? What happened? We got showers! And I was, but this is the kind of person he is, So we love you. We're super proud of you. We can only imagine what's next.
And you are worthy. Always, you have to remember that. You are worthy. Your birthday came and blessings came, and you guys are worthy. You are worthy. Despite what's going on, you are worthy.